Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream. Hopefully, you guys are doing okay. Let me know if you guys can hear me well. I got the AC on. What's up, Heather? I'm here for once. What's going on? Welcome. Mr. X, what's going on? How you guys doing? Hopefully, you guys are doing well. So, I'm gonna let some people get in here, and I'll go over the topic of today's video. 31 oils in one day. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. Congratulations. Jay Wonders, what's going on? How you doing? What's up, Miss Lachey? How's it going? So hopefully you guys are doing well. I'm doing okay today so far. I'm at like let's see here. Let me get this off the screen. I got 25 right now for $4.93, which obviously the dollar amount ain't the greatest, but at the end of the day, up 64% on sales versus last month, so I'll take it. We got Bobby in the building. What's going on? How are you, Bobby? Welcome. Joe Bear Resale, what's up? How you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Let me know how many of you guys got going out in the chat, and I'll celebrate with you. So I'll give it a couple more minutes. Since I stopped posting that I was going live on Instagram, a lot less people come into the live stream, but it ain't really about numbers. I'm just trying to provide value. Brat Sells says, hi, Marcus, what's going on? So the title of the video is the real reason your sales are slow. And the your is not you guys. The your is me. Because I'm not going to sit up here and say anyone else's sales are slow for a particular reason. But me, Marcus Dixon, my sales were slow for a variation of reasons. Number one, I stopped accepting offers. Number two, my items were extremely priced over what they should have been for what the items were. Now, what I mean by that is like certain items like Ann Taylor Loft, Old Navy, certain things that just don't merit having a high dollar amount. Like, and I'm not saying I was egregious, but even at like $25 for like some items, just isn't worth it, especially without doing market research. Now, when I was doing 90 a day, I was flooding my store with all this same type of crap that didn't need to go in my store. And then I was trying to price it at $15 to $20 on things that don't sell for nothing but $10. So now that I've got things on sale and they're coming down into the market range, they're flying off the shelf. We got seems like only lower dollar items selling this week. I'm still selling a decent amount of higher dollar items, but yeah, I could see that just in general. Now, one of the things we got to realize is there is less money to go around right now, even though it's tax time. People are buying cars. The last thing they're trying to do is get on eBay and buy some used clothes. I don't know what all you sell, Brad sells, but the last thing I'm trying to do is buy some used clothes if I'm finna go ball out on a car. Happy Picker, what's going on? Yeah, I remember meeting you at the Benz. Nice to have you here. Sales a little slow today. Usually I cross list right away, but I just did it before this, so it could be why. But lately sales are slower in the middle of the week for me. Sold a driftwood jacket for $80. I haven't heard of that. Nice. Thanks for the bolo. So I tend to have kind of like steady sales all week long, and then Friday is when they spike just a little bit. But overall, it's pretty steady all week, and I'll show you guys my overview page in a moment. Just get a list that says you are the second reseller I've listened to that stopped accepting offers, made the decision to no longer take offers. I do take offers. I accept almost every offer. What I'm saying is that was one of the reasons why my sales plummeted, is because I stopped accepting offers that were, so say for instance, I had an item listed for $25. If it wasn't like $20 and up, I wasn't accepting the offer. And so that made my sales pretty much nosedive and jumped off a cliff. So if they sent me $19 on it, I was declining it. You know what I'm saying? So when I got into the mindset of going back to just moving units versus how much I was making off one single unit. So for instance, if I'm selling 20 items a day, but I declined 15 offers, so now I've only sold 5 items, and then I accept 30 offers. Now I've sold 30 items. That's more units moving out of the door. And at the end of the day, that means more money going into my bank account. So I just went back to the mindset of just accepting offers, you know. Maxine, what's going on? How you doing? Bobby says, how is Macari doing for you? It's been dead for me since the fee change. I sold a couple of items right around the time of the fee change, but it's pretty much dead. I haven't sold anything over there in weeks. Poshmark is fairly consistent. I sold something today and yesterday. But for the most part, since I'm not listing on Poshmark either, I don't think I'm going to get the consistency out of it that I normally would. But I don't list on Poshmark. My store's big enough already over there. I feel like having a store that's over 1,000 items doesn't really help you none over there, because then all my items only get shared like once a day. You know what I mean? So I haven't really added anything over there. I've just been focused on eBay. eBay's my bread and butter. eBay is what pays all my bills. So I just stick with eBay and just continue to crank out eBay. Happy Picker says she's still selling regularly on Macari. That's what's up. So another reason why my sales had started to tank is because I also was not I wasn't listing as many items as I was before. Last year, you guys know I was doing 90 a day. I went from doing 90 a day all the way down to 20 a day, which doesn't sound like it would have that much of an effect on it. But if you increase your listing goal, you start to sell more items eventually. If you decrease your listing goal, you start to sell less items eventually. So it's the reverse effect. So I went from selling about 50 a day almost every day, 40 to 48 a day, to down to like 10, 7, 12. You know what I mean? And so when you're used to making a certain amount of money, and then you start building out your lifestyle around that type of, and I don't mean my lifestyle, but I mean like my financial goals around $50 sales a day type of money, everything gets thrown off. So therefore it wasn't the same. So I went back to listing 10 more. I didn't go back to 90 a day. I went up to 30 a day, right? And so that's just 10 additional items going up. But with me implementing these sales the way that I have, I'm selling 30 a day, 35 a day, sometimes 40 a day. Now, when I first did this $2 sale thing, I was selling like 70, 80, almost 100 a day. But obviously, the items that are still left in my store, they're going to trickle out of here eventually, you know, but the majority of those items flew off the shelves because I had like 2,000 items on sale. Now there's several hundred of those items gone already. So I'm assuming the best of them have flown off the shelf. Johnny Swag, what's up, my guy? How you doing? Russell says, when I get a close offer, I tell myself, do not fall in love with my items, take the offer. Exactly. And that's the best method to live by. But at the point that I was at, I was trying to make up for listing less items by trying to get most of the money for my items. So that's where I messed up at. And this whole video, right, this live stream is about why my sales had been slow. It's not the real reason why you just got to, you got to make the title catchy enough to make people watch it. So this is the reason why my sales had plummeted. And the mistakes that I made, reverting from what I used to do. What I'm doing now is going back to doing what I was doing when things were popping off for me. I was doing like $20,000 months almost. I was like 18.5 a month, and then I turned all that off to list 20 a day. You know what I mean? But I think part of it was that I just got to reaching burnout. When you're doing 90 a day, guys, it's not an easy task. I don't care what anybody says. It's not easy to do 90 a day of clothing. That's not an easy task. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. There's a lot of sourcing required for 90 a day. There's a lot of storage required for 90 a day. There's a lot of bags, shipping, packing, supplies, storage, all that stuff. It adds up. It takes a toll on it. And then not only that, trying to do I was doing YouTube 5 days a week then. 3 videos live every week, and then 2 live streams twice a week. That's 5 days of YouTube, trying to do a Patreon, trying to do 90 a day. I was reaching burnout. I couldn't do it. So I went on that trip to Colombia, to South America, and I had a little bit of break, and it was relief. And I was like, this is what life is. It's not all about working on eBay. You know what I mean? So I took some time off, and then I realized, well, I got to get back at it, So now I'm, 30 a day, not doing 90 a day. Yeah, I was doing 90 a day, Happy Picker, because I needed 2 days to source. So I was listing 50 a day live. 40 a day would go on my draft bank for 2 days off a week. So I would go to the bins on Monday and I would go to the bins on Friday. And then I would do all my listings on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I would do listings. I would take Saturday completely off, and then I would start working again on Sunday. And it was the only way that I could do it and still have a day off a week. So I had to do 40 additional items each day because that stuff adds up. It's all about finding balance for your business. Absolutely. Hey, what's going on? ATL Flippers in the building somewhere. What's up, Derek? How you guys doing, man? Hopefully you guys are doing well. Let's see. Yoon, is it Yun or Yoon? Yoon Stargirl. Hi, everyone. Appreciate the videos. Welcome. Appreciate you coming and hanging out. Chandler Pico said, how many listers do you have? I just have me. I'm not using a lister. I'm not using a photographer. I got rid of the kid that was taking photos for me. So now it's just me. And the VA that I was using is in Pakistan, but I'm not using them right now. What's up, Danny? How you doing? Life's good, man. I can't complain. Things are going well. How about you? And so, Chandler, the reason why I stopped using a lister is because I'm only doing 30 a day, and there's no need to use a lister. Just doing 30 a day. Yen, like the Japanese money. Okay, I'll try to remember that. Hey, Marcus, hope you're well, sir. I'm doing great. How are you? Welcome to the live stream, guys. So another thing that was keeping my sales slow is I was picking up mediocre items that weren't necessarily in demand, but I had the concept in my mind of it sold once, it'll sell again, right? So I was picking up anything that I'd ever sold before, but also going adjacent to it. So say, for instance, I sold an Old Navy t-shirt. So I'm like, all right, I'll pick up an Old Navy button-up. I sold an Old Navy button-up. Now I'll pick up an Old Navy sweater. I sold Old Navy women's jeans. Let me pick up Old Navy men's jeans. And then so like at first I was selling a lot of women's clothing. Now I've transitioned to selling mostly men's clothing. And I'm not saying that I don't sell women's stuff, because I definitely do. Women's jeans is my top 5, the number 5 category out of my top 5. So, it's just, I started picking up stuff that I knew that was selling for more money. And I knew that I was selling in my personal store, not what eBay said, but when I checked my sell through on my store, I start picking up more of that stuff. So anyone can do that. You can go to your store, you can type in a brand and the item type, and then you could search your store by how many you have active and how many you've sold, just like you're checking normal comps. And you'll start to see what you sell that other people don't have the ability to sell the way that you do for some reason or another. Maybe they're just not finding these brands, or you've got traction in this brand or this category, and then you could start making more sales than other people because you show eBay you know what you're doing. Let's see. Chandler said, okay, he said something else down here. Tremendous. I'm struggling to keep up. Any tips on listing more? Honestly, man, the best tip out there is selling similar from your own store. Find an item in your store that you have already listed that has pretty much most of the similar item specifics and stuff with the item that you're listing. Say a pair of men's jeans to another pair of men's jeans. It doesn't necessarily have to be Levi's to Levi's. It can be Old Navy to Levi's. All you got to do is change the item specific from Old Navy to Levi's, change it in the title to Old Navy from to Levi's, and the size. Most of the stuff that people are like having struggles with is filling out every single item specific. I don't fill out every single item specific. I'm gonna just keep it 1,000. It's not required to fill out every item specific. That's what takes the time up. So I fill out what is most important. I fill out the stuff in the required section because it is required. You can't press the list button without it. And then I pick the material, sometimes the theme. I'll pick the country and manufacturer if it's vintage, because then it matters by age of where it was made at. And then I'll put the correct measurements for the waist and the inseam in the listing. and then whatever other item specifics that I feel is necessary. So like I'll put a short sleeve shirt in there if it's a short sleeve. I'll put long sleeve if it's long sleeve. I'll put crew neck if it's crew neck. But I'm not going above and beyond for character, theme, features, all that other stuff. I'm just not doing all that. That slows down the listing time. And then use templates. So for me, since I'm selling similar off my own items, the condition or the description is already built into my listing. I just hit the drop down menu, I select the description. Then I have a notepad that I leave open at all times for different conditions. So if it's in good condition, I have a blurb for that. I just click on it. If it's got a stain, I have a blurb for that. I click on that. If it's got snags on it, I'll click on the snag blurb. If it's got pilling, I click on the pilling blurb. And so it literally takes me like a minute tops to do a listing, and you just get the reps in. Then it speeds up after that. You're at 80% sell through. That's what's up. I got a space next to a laundromat. Was wondering, should I purchase a washing machine to wash at home or just pay for the service? It's going to be more expensive to pay for the service. I pay, and this is me paying my mom to do it. I pay my mom $40 a week to do the laundry, and then I pay her water bill. Any repairs that need to be made to the machine, I've had to have 2 dryer repairs on it so far. I pay because literally thousands and thousands of items have been washed in her equipment. So I think it would be cheaper to get a washing machine and do it yourself, because I did it at the laundromat for 2 weeks and I paid $100 each time I went to the laundromat. Just 2 weeks in a row, that's $200 off the flip. So, I mean, I would think it would be way cheaper to do it yourself. I also don't pay for electricity and water as part of my rent. Well, definitely it's cheaper than to do it that way then. 100% cheaper to get one on your own, and you can write it off, bro. It's a business expense. And the amount of listings you do, you definitely want your own washing machine. You don't have to wait on anybody at a laundromat. The laundromat I went to, that thing was packed. It was jam-packed no matter what time I went in there. And then 40% of the machines were broken. So you got the rest of the population trying to compete for the machines that did work. Do you like selling on Poshmark? I don't like selling on Poshmark. I just sell on Poshmark because it's another platform that gets more traction than all the other ones. And Vendoo makes it easy. So I just list all my items on eBay. I'll upload them to Vendoo because I do everything on eBay first. And I put stuff in my listings for eBay that can't be in a Poshmark listing or another platform listing. So then I have to take all that stuff out. But since I'm focused on eBay, I do them all from eBay first. And then whenever I feel like adding some more listings to Poshmark, I do. I don't make it a big deal. I'm not like must list every day on Poshmark. I'm focused on eBay. eBay's panning out for me. It's not doing all bad like it was when I was only doing 20 a day. So I'm making more money, or at least the same amount of money now in my payouts every day that I was making when I was listing 90 a day. And I'm only listing 30 a day. So I realized that I was working way too hard for the amount of money that I was making. Now I'm making the same amount of money working a fraction of the time, doing a fraction of the work, sourcing a fraction of the time. Now, don't get me wrong, I still source just as much as I would like to, but the thing is when I was outsourcing before, I was sourcing just everything that I could find. I was just buying. Now I have more purpose and more intent with the stuff that I pick up while I'm out. So definitely not just loading my store up with a bunch of random crap. Hey Sierra, how you doing? Do you suggest ridding your closet of slow sellers, or just let it sit since the work's been done? Thank you in advance. I would rid your closet of the slow sellers. That's what I'm doing right now. That's why everything's extremely marked down in my store. So if it's been listed longer than a year, it's like on sale for $2. It's got to go. It's got to get out of here. And anything after $45 gets marked down 20% off, and then it just gets more aggressive from there. Heather says selling similar helped her list so much faster too. I also don't have a car. I'm starting to think the Benz model 1 into 15 is better for someone like me instead of going thrift to thrift. and paying an extra $10 on Uber per trip. What do you think? In that circumstance, bro, you're going to be paying more money for a ride than you need to. So I would definitely like make the most of that you can out of the 1 week that you can. I don't know where you live at. And I don't know. I think you do volume. I think from what I've known from talking to you, you do substantial amounts of volume. So what I would do if I were you, it's what I just did. I got $2,000 together and I bought a car off Facebook because I still owed on 2 cars. I crashed one car, the engine went out on the second car. I'm still paying 2 car notes on cars that I don't drive, nor I have the one. I have to put an engine in it. So, that's $8,000 of repairs right there on a $15,000 car. You know what I mean? Like I'm screwed on that car, but the other car I totaled and I still owe money on that. So that's why I bought a car outright because I couldn't afford 3 car notes. But if I were you, I would go buy me a lemon. Not no, not like a lemon, but like a car that's cheap like a lemon and drive that and slap you at least some liability on there, man, and stop paying for Ubers. Just think about how much money you pay for Ubers every time you're going out and about. You can find you a car for $1,500 on Facebook, no problem. What's up, Shay? How you doing? Long time no see. Now that is fire. Yes, I struggle with item specifics. Do you do everything listing wise on your phone? I never list on the phone. I personally do, but I'm open to changing. When I started listening on the computer, everything went faster. That's how I have my blurbs, my notepad, my condition descriptions, and all that stuff is done on the computer. It makes it way faster. Brad's doing what I'm doing what James posted. I'm going to list 3 times the amount I sold the last week, the following week, and see if that helps. Okay, I didn't know that he said that. I cannot thank you enough. No problem, man. We're here to share the love. You may be able to find a used one for a good price. Yeah, exactly. Yes, you build your store so you can slow down now. Yeah, I mean, I would say I've built it up a little bit, but there's no need to slow down that much. You know what I mean? Like I'm still trying to get it. So you still I go to the bins, man. I source most of my stuff from the bins. Almost 80% of my stuff now comes from the bins. The rest of it comes from the thrift and from yard sales. But when yard sales close back down again, it'll go back to being 90% of my items coming from the bins and the other 10 from the thrift stores. You know what I mean? I just find so much good stuff at my bins. Gyropack seems to be making some changes on the bubble mailers. The 100 count is not available anymore. My option was 50 or 250. I don't know. I get the 10 by 13s and sometimes the 12 by 15s or bigger poly mailers from them, and that's all I get. I don't use bubble mailers for anything, but I also understand that you sell hard goods, Miss Lachey. So I haven't noticed any changes, but I could see that. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe they were losing money on it. I do know that they, instead of making it 10% off, so like there's a discount code down below for Gyropack guys. I do know that they, instead of using it every single time, it's only 10% off your first order now. So there's really no incentive to shop with them anymore, honestly, past the first time. So that's why I haven't really been talking about it no more. Like, yeah, it'll help you the first time, but what about the next time? Then it's just cheaper to just continue going with wherever you've been going. I'm not one of these guys that's gonna be like, yeah, use this because I get money off it. You know what I mean? Like if it's not worth it, don't do it. Just like Vendu. You guys can use the Vendu link, but if it's not cost effective, don't do it. You know what I mean? I don't have a driver's license. How old are you, bro? No shade. I got my driver's license when I was 35, so I mean, it is what it is. But I come from a big city where I just did what I want to do. Driving cars and doing all that type of stuff is just normal in St. Louis because it's such a big city that you blend in. Wavy Gallagher says the bins are nice if you don't have a car because you can get lots of items in one place. Absolutely. Now it does suck if you're like catching a bus, but an Uber or a taxi, then it's a little bit different. Always get gap insurance. Thank you so much for your advice. God bless you. Yeah, definitely get gap insurance. It saved me on but this not this last car. It saved me on the car I had before. I totaled a Nissan Altima and the gap insurance paid off the remainder that the insurance company didn't pay off. But this car, since I got it and was paying for it at the car lot, through the car lot, they didn't have gap insurance on it. So kind of got played there. After that car, I had 5 cars from them. I said, this is the last car I'm gonna ever get with you guys. Like, you guys don't do good business. And you sold me this car way above market price because you knew that I needed to leave here with a car that day. So they saw me coming and took advantage of it. What's up, John? How you doing? Catching another live. Did you enjoy my story of selling those pants to Santa Claus? Yeah, did you not see my comment? I thought that was pretty funny. Congratulations on the sale. Why not just delete the items that are low value and redonate the items instead of doing an extreme markdown? Because why not just make some money off them instead? I've already done all the work. They're already listed. I've already wasted the money by putting them in a poly bag and a SKU number on them. You know what I mean? I might as well get something out of it. You know what I mean? It's better than wasting the plastic bag, wasting the SKU number, and then taking all the items, putting them in my car, making multiple trips to the thrift store, donating them, coming back and doing it all over again when I could just sell it. I'm still making like $2 off each of these $2 items. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with that. I'll take that $2 back and go buy another pound of clothing at the bins. St. Louis bins was the best. I miss going there, but I'm too far now to go. St. Louis bins, out of all the places that I've been to, I would rank it St. Louis bins is the best. Then Houston is the second best. Then probably, man, there was a little hole in the wall place I went to in Jackson, Mississippi. That was pretty cool. It was very tiny though, but not a lot of competition. But I also like Nashville bins, but those are probably the most competitive bins I've been to so far is the Nashville bins. Justin says, the last time I was on your live stream, right at the end, a dude got shot up 8 times and killed right outside my apartment entrance. Dang, dude, where you live at? I'm glad it wasn't you, bro. Hey, what's up, Moochie? How you doing, bro? Always get gap insurance. I already read that one. Did I get? Thanks. I see you running a markdown. I like to do that too, but I get scared of getting negative feedback off of a $5 sale. How do you handle that? Feedback's not going to stop the train, bro. I got neutral feedback from one person, and it wasn't even. It was because the shirt they said it was too big. The shirt was too big. It doesn't fit like it says it fits like a bigger size. But I did have somebody that bought an Adidas hoodie from me and measures to a large. And they said, this is a woman's or a kid's hoodie. You know very well that this isn't a men's hoodie. I'm like, bro, it's a men's hoodie. It's bigger than the mediums that I personally wear. You know what I mean? I say, look, man, it's a men's hoodie. I put measurements in all my listings, and I asked the buyers 3 times to check measurements before buying. So he's like, well, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, you can open the return up. It's free. You know, I'm not going to make you keep something you don't want, but undeserved negative feedback for something you didn't do isn't okay with me. And he was like, all right, if you send me the label back, I'm not going to give you negative feedback. I was like, you got to open the return. The label will be automatically provided for you. I said, I encouraged him. I said, next time you buy something on eBay, look for measurements first. That way you'll know so you don't have to run into this the next time. So he left me positive feedback saying fair return policy. I'm not worried about negative feedback, man. With the volume of items that I'm selling right now, my feedback score went up from 99.7 to 99.8. So like if you sell enough items, man, it's really not going to matter. It is 100% better than 97, 98, 99.8. Of course it is. But you can never sell thousands of items without getting a negative feedback. It's just not going to happen. Look at Tech Store. Look at the ratio of negative feedback versus positive. You know, he's got hundreds of thousands of positive feedback. So of course he's bound to have some negative feedback. Now you can holler at Feedback Fixer on Instagram and get it removed, but I'm not paying $30 for one negative feedback. I'll just own it. My first order was 10% off. Then my second order, I had to use someone else's code and got 7% off. Yeah, it's just not even worth it no more. Today, I killed it in sales. 27 things sold. Doesn't compare to your sales, but it felt great. Appreciate the live stream and tips. You don't know, Justin, you might have killed it, bro. 27 things sold today and yesterday. You're halfway there, bro. You probably sold more dollar amount. Yesterday I got up to 453. So today I'm already past it. I'm at 493. But lately though, I've been averaging about 600 plus a day, which is okay with me. My goal right now is 500 a day. So anything over that, I'm okay with. Makes sense. Is there any situation in which you would prefer to delete the items and redonate? Not really, man. If it sits around for a long time after it's been marked down for $2, then I'd have to donate it. But I went through 3 boxes in my storage unit pulling down. I pulled down like 50 items, 60 items, and then that's when I was like, nah, man, I'm putting these on sale for $2. So I think if they're garbage items and you know that they're garbage items, just go ahead and pull them down. If you got them at low dollar price for a certain amount of time and nobody's buying them still, they probably need to come down. But I'll give you an update on that. I've only been in business for like 3.5 years. So I still have yet to get to that point to where I'm like, I gotta pull these items down. I've just now decided to like start getting rid of crap that I don't need. Sorry guys. My pastor's texting me. Yeah, I saw just sharing here too. We sold this nice Carhartt jacket to a guy today. Got it dropped at UPS, and then minutes later he asked to cancel. Rushed to get it. Okay, at least you got it back, man. Nice. Grand Rapids, Michigan sucked. Oh, really? Huh? Ain't that where Hustle and Hook stay at? I thought they said their bins was okay. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's why they were buying wholesale pallets because the bins was not okay. Dang, sorry to hear that. When I visited Jackson some years back, I was surprised how empty the bins were that early in the morning. Found some great items. That's what's up. So last week when I went to the bins on the holiday, they opened up the bins at like 1:30, which is an hour and a half before they're supposed to open it up on the second rotation. I was the only dude in the close for like 10 minutes, but then I quickly found out that they didn't restock any bins. I was just in there looking through stuff I had already looked through. Sometimes I wish there are no returns. Overseas, they don't accept returns. Uh, you know, I would say that I wish there was no returns, but at the end of the day, like if I bought something that I didn't want, I would be mad if I couldn't return it. You know what I mean? Like just put yourself in the shoes of the buyer. If you bought something and it truly didn't fit you, and but you were forced to keep it, like that would not be a good buyer's experience. And I would probably not go shop on that platform again. You know what I mean? So eBay's trying to keep the buyer in mind. Like do I get returns? Yeah, but does it bother me? Not like it used to. Like it's a part of business. You know what I mean? What bothers me is when someone opens an INAD that's not a true INAD. So they're just lying about the return issue. You know what I mean? Like I had some guy yesterday. I just did a return. He said the color was bleeding off the collar, and I noted it in the description. I was like, the collar has. I got a freaking eyelash in my eye, and I feel it. But I told him that the collar had bleed or what was it, yellowing on the collar, and he pointed it out. And I gave him back his return, but not his original shipping, and said that it was an abuse of the return policy. And the dude was lying. Uh, Gloria Robles says, how many are you posting a day, and how many items roughly is 600 a day? I'm listing 30 a day, and I'm selling about 30 a day. So let's just look real quick. So we'll look at the day when I sold 625. So that was Sunday, June 2nd. Sometimes the weekends do really crazy numbers though. Uh, I got an offer right now, I think. Hold on, guys. Let me take this offer. Okay. Now we'll go back and look. Sales. We got June 2nd. So I did 34 sales on June 2nd for 625. And then I bought all my labels for the whole weekend. So I got negative $19 because I bought 500 something dollars of labels for Saturday and Sunday. So technically, I didn't make any money that day. But the day before, I made what, $495. And then what usually ends up happening, I don't know how you guys do your labels, but if you do any significant amount of volume, what ends up happening when you do your labels on one day like that, all in one day, is you'll have a big day before that day. So Saturday was a great payout, Sunday was a negative payout, and it's technically it comes on Monday, but Tuesday is a huge payout because I didn't ship anything on Monday. So I'll get two gigantic payouts and then one payout of what, negative $19. So let's see what I did on Friday or Saturday. See, here's the payout on Saturday, $488. So that's what I mean by you'll get big payouts around that. But if you look, 35 orders that day for 636. So it's high volume, but at the end of the day, I don't care if I'm getting $400 in my bank account at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, is it ideal? Probably not for everybody, but it works for me, and that's what matters. My store doesn't have to work for everybody else, you know? All right, let's see. Where we at? Speaking of neutrals, we got one where the comment was very accurate, but I asked if he'd reverse since everything sounded positive, but he wouldn't. No idea why. That's weird. I don't even worry about neutrals. I know I ask you this question a lot, but would you ever want to list 250 like tech? Not by myself, no. I'm in New Jersey. The Benz here is okay. Yeah, I've heard good things about New Jersey. So it kind of makes sense why. Are you in the big city? It kind of makes sense why you don't have a car there too. But yeah, only way I would do 250 is if I had employees. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? If I was to start listing 250, I don't have the infrastructure to do that. I don't have the basic fundamental operation down to do that. I would need another listing station, another cell phone to take pictures with, another camera, or not another camera, but another computer or two for the people to list from. You know, that's a lot of overhead. And then I would need 250 a day sourcing. I don't have that. I don't have that operation, the outline for that operation. You know what I mean? So right now, I couldn't even do it even if I wanted to. Do you guys ever wait one day before shipping out an item? Because I have had people cancel their order after I shipped out the item. So if they cancel the order after you shipped out the item, they just got to wait for it to arrive to you, and then they have to send it back. They can't get refunded unless you're doing it on your own. You shouldn't refund them without getting the item back. I have same day shipping policy set up. So if you buy your item before 5 o'clock in the morning, it's going out that day. So if I wake up at 6 o'clock and something sells at 6 o'clock, I ship it the next day. But if it's sold at 4:59, it's going out that day. So that's just how I got it set up, because I want the banner to say same day shipping on my listings. How do you do the picture in picture? LOL. You share your eBay. That was just the option that's on the screen here on StreamYard. Don't wait if you have same or 1 day shipping. You don't want to get dinged by it. But yeah, you don't want to do that, because if you say you have 1 day handling time and then you ship late, you're going to get an overdue shipment. Then you run the risk of getting a late arrival. So then you get two dings off one order. So ship your stuff on time. Sunday they were going nuts on eBay. Yeah. Last Sunday I did 69 sales in 1 day. Thank you, Canary Closet. Appreciate the answer. Nice, thank you. That's great. How far back am I? Okay, not that far. Yeah, where you are paying for shipping for 2 days, you might not have anything left. Now, with high dollar items, you will. But when you're selling a lot of items that go for like $2 or $4 or $5, you might run out of money for a day of shipping. But if you have a business model that's built around just bangers, you'll be fine. So you get paid out daily. I get paid once a month. I live in Baltimore, by the way. Okay, so yeah, Baltimore is kind of the hood. I see that. I see why now. Stay safe, bro. Yeah, I get paid out daily. Because why not, right? I have an expense pretty much every day, a business expense, an Amazon bill I gotta pay a day, or not every day, but bills, rent, debt consolidation payments that I'm paying. And I say debt consolidation. I'm not on debt consolidation, but I'm paying off debt, and I have installment plans, payments set up at all these different places that I owe money on, and it's sporadically like spread out through the month. So that way I'm not draining all my cash at one point in time through the month. Like for instance, but up the first 5 days of the month, I have to pay out almost $2,000 for my rent, my storage rent, my car, my insurance, all this other stuff, that just comes out. And that's a lot of money. If I was trying to do everything else all around the same time, I just literally wouldn't be able to do it. So I get daily payouts throughout the month and just pay all my stuff as spread out as far apart from each other that I can. So I have a 30% off coupon on, but I'm starting to think heavy markdown is the way to go. People don't use the coupon. I think the coupon works extremely well. I have a 10% off coupon on my store right now, and it's still converting. Let's see. I was doing a 20% off coupon. I don't think the markdown works as well because I feel like they just come in and they offer me what they want on top of me doing the markdown. You know what I'm saying? So it's already cheap, and then they come through and then they lowball me again. So right now I started this coupon May 14th. I made $2,506 off of it. So I think it works. Now that's at 10%. So it's not going to move the needle a lot, but at the same time, I'm sending out offers left and right too. And those change from time to time, depending on what I'm trying to do or what monetary goal I'm trying to accomplish for that day. My mother's calling me. Mom. Nope. Do you ever struggle with determining on how much to sell an item for if other comps are all over the board? No. If the comps are all over the board and they're so dramatically apart, I just try to examine why the item sold for, let's say, $150 versus the rest of them are going for $25. There's got to be something different. Quality of the material, maybe it's a collaboration, maybe it's loan sharking or money laundering or something like that. Maybe, who knows? But at the end of the day, I just price at the average. So whatever I see the most, I'm going to price at the top of the higher end of the average. So say the average is $30, but you see quite a bit of 30s, 36s, 37s, or 27s, 26s and stuff like that. I'm probably going to price it at 30 because that's the high end of the top of the market. And then if somebody wants to, they can send me an offer. But there's going to be circumstances where, say, I sell Levi's jeans for a certain price, and I know that I sell them for this certain price, but the market on Levi's jeans says that it's $16 is the average sales price. That's like not what I sell Levi's for. So I price them at what I sell them for, and I turn off best offer because I don't want somebody coming in trying to just pay $16 for them when I know that they sell for a different price. So I do that, and it works well for me. But what I've been doing lately is listing items that I've done the market research on. I'll turn on offers at like maybe $5 off. So anything, if say for instance, I got an item listed for $35, I'll turn on best offer only to $30. That's as low as I'm going. Now, if I want to sell it for cheaper, I'll send out a more aggressive offer. But at the end of the day, it's been working. So I'll keep doing it. Maybe you have answered this before. Do you delete your pictures after you list or hold on to the photos until the item sells? I delete the pictures immediately as soon as I list the item. That's how I know what items left and how many I got left in the draft to be listing. they sit in the recycling bin for quite some time, honestly. So if there's like some reason I need to dig them out, I can go to the recycling bin. But I've never come into a situation where I've needed the pictures past like maybe a couple of days. And that's only because like I was using listers or something like that, and maybe they had a photo in the wrong area, or like the photo. Sometimes when you guys look at a listing, it'll be like a picture of a Polaroid like picture, and it's like a blank picture. Sometimes I have to delete the item and then go back and find the draft or the photo that goes in that draft then. But rarely have I come to regret deleting the picture. So I just delete them immediately. How often do you do store reviews? If you still do them, I'm interested. I have a store of 1,800 items and don't feel like I'm making the amount of sales that I should. I stopped doing store reviews because I give them away for free in my Patreon, and that's unfair to the people that pay a monthly fee for it. But you can also book a private call, just me and you, and I can go over your store then. You could just hit me up on Instagram and we can talk numbers. Uh, and I literally just don't have the time to do store reviews. And I was doing them on live stream, but it takes so long to do an efficient store review that people start leaving the live stream because they're not getting value out of it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of greedy for me to do one store review or two store reviews on a live stream and then not really answer anyone else's questions. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope it doesn't sound like I'm a D-bag for not doing your store review. Hey Nikki, how you doing? Just getting off work and getting here to catch all the valuable info. Thank you. Hopefully work was good. So I haven't been to the bins in a while. I used to get there at 2 p.m. You think the early bird gets the worm in the bins? It seems it's busy all day. So in my experience at my bins, I have better luck when I go in the morning because it's less populated. A lot of people like to sleep in late. I got a lot of vintage kids and just like unemployed people that go to the bins. Not that they're not making money, but the bins is what they do to make money. So they sleep in during the day. So I feel like at my bins, the early bird does get the worm. Although I do still get good items on the second rotation, there's so many more people there. So that I only say I get 60 items the first go around. I'll get like 40 items on the second rotation. It's still a good number, but at the end of the day, it's just not as easy to get the items on the second rotation. So I would try it and just do it more than once, and then compare your information that you have based off all the afternoon trips that you went and see what's better for you. Every location's different. When I went down to Houston, it was popping all day long because they rotate bins all day long. I don't think people care about $15 items like J. Crew. I don't think they do either, but not all J. Crew sells for $15. Some J. Crew sells for $50, $60. You just got to find the right kind. Sarah says, no, but all makes sense. I'm an avid watcher. I know you're not. Okay, good. Do you check all your inventory at least once a year because eBay drops off some of our listings over time? Nope, I don't have the time to. So if it's not listed, I'll find out eventually. I do search from time to time, and I have found quite a few items that weren't listed. So if you have a small store, go for it. I've got 8,000 items. I don't have the time for that. So what I've been doing is I've been taking like a box every other week or something like that and looking through that box and making sure that everything's in there is listed. And eventually I'll work my way through the whole store. But as of right now, I literally don't have the time to do that. And it's not because I'm like so busy with eBay. It's because I'm so busy doing additional stuff besides eBay. I do eBay like 4 hours a day with taking photos, packing items, storage consolidation, and not even storage consolidation because I have my brother doing that stuff now. But like just the packing of the photos, packing of the items, taking the photos, customer service, and then doing listings. Sometimes the listings take a little bit longer. It just depends on what I'm doing, how many I'm doing, how many drafts I'm doing. I'll do about 50 sets of photos a day. I launch 30 of those sets of or 30 of those items every day. And usually I have to stop listing because I have to go to the gym at 4 o'clock. And then so like when I came home from the gym just now, I listed like 10 more items. I hopped on this live stream, and then when I get off, I'll list the rest of the photos that I got. So it's in blocks of time that I do my eBay day, but I do about probably, I'd say maximum like 6 hours a day. And that's only because I'm doing everything again. I don't use a photographer anymore, Miss Lachey. I stopped using that guy. He was too flaky. He wasn't showing up, and his fingernails were dirty in some of the photos. So I had to spend all this time trying to crop fingernail photos out, and he just made 10 mistakes in the last time around, which now I know that doesn't sound like a lot, right? But when you got somebody that took 4 hours to take 30 sets of photos, and then there's errors in 10 sets of the photos to where you have to go back and do them again, that's not acceptable. So I just told him, I was like, I don't think it's best that you come back, you know. I see the kid at church every Wednesday. He's in my youth group. So like, it's not like I got hard feelings for him, you know what I mean? Like, he's just a kid, but at the same time, this is a business and he wasn't taking it serious. I think when someone sees that you like work out of like your house, or like, you know, it's just like something that you're doing, you're taking clothes, it's not like a corporate job or like manual labor, they don't take it serious. And I kept telling him, I'm like, the mistakes that you're making are, they're not mistakes that you should keep making after I address it. You know what I mean? And he kept trying to get to the point to where he was doing 20 listings that are 20 sets of photos in an hour instead of doing quality photos. I told him, I was like, you can do 30 sets of photos an hour, but if 15 of them are not usable, it's not helping me none. You know what I mean? I'd rather you do 15 quality sets of photos in an hour with no mistakes than 30 in an hour with 10 mistakes. So I have a laundry at home and I wash my personal stuff, but it comes out dusty. It's hard to explain. I think I would need to buy a laundry at Home Depot. Is it like old or something, man? Are you changing the filter out? Or are you using cheap laundry detergent? I've never seen like where it comes out dusty, but some detergent is not great for washing clothes, and it'll give your clothes wash wear much faster than if you were using something better like Woolite. Stops pilling, it stops wash wear, it stops all that stuff. But ain't nobody got Woolite money. Have you heard of Rakuten app? Do you know about it? Yeah, I've heard about it, but I don't use it. I don't really buy much stuff to where I can get a bunch of cash back, except for like Amazon. Probably like laundry soap for the business. I'm really not like a dude that's like worried about cash back for real. Honestly, I probably need to be, but it's just another step in the process. The bins in the city where I live are like shopping Tasmanian devils. I can believe it. I've seen some crazy stuff at the bins, man. Caleb says, do you use a listing software that does your eBay listings for you? No, I just do them myself. I'm all about giving people an opportunity, but if I'm ever in the position to hire someone, it's going to be a grown person who needs the money. Yeah, the three people that I've tried have all been teenagers, and they just don't have the work ethic that I did when I was a teenager. Dang, I wish I could work for you. I would learn so much. Yeah, I mean, but you'd be willing to learn though. Like, you're actually into eBay. Like, these kids are not into eBay at all. They want what they think is going to be easy money, and eBay's not easy. Taking photos are not easy. I do 30 sets of photos in an hour. That's not easy. It's comfortable because I've been doing it for years. But when I first got started, I remember texting my brother one time, and I was like, I don't see how because I was telling him about how Daily Refinement said that he does 40 listings. I think he said it took him 2 hours to do 40 listings. I was like, I don't see how this dude's doing 40 listings when it took me 5 hours to do 14 listings. And I was complaining about 14 listings taking me 5 hours. I got up to doing 90 a day and it would take me like 6 to 8 hours. You know what I mean? So like, you get faster. You just got to be willing to put in the work. Let's see. Nope, I already read that. So how many listings do you think I need to make $1 million profit? 30,000. Tech made it in 30,000. I think he had 25,000 when he made it. So probably that. Ain't nobody got time for dirty fingernails, right? You know, so, and they were nubs too, and like he would bite on like the skin that peels off his cuticles. So they were like not only blood dirty, but they were like little scabs on there and stuff too. It just looked bad, and I had to crop it out of the photos, and it was making the listing process much longer. So not only is he not meeting the quota for the amount of photos I need taken in the 4 hours he's doing it, I'm also having to make up the difference of those photos and then crop out a bunch of work on the photos that he's done. And so it was just, I tried. I let him work with me for a few weeks, and it just didn't get any better. So I had to let him go. At the end of the day, you got to find someone that's like an adult that knows the value of working hard and doing the job the right way while doing it fast and efficiently. Doing it fast and then doing it not efficient don't go together. You got to do them efficiently and fast. Let's see. So are you asking me that? I don't know. I don't know exactly what he had. I think he had around that much. Yeah, $1 million profit. I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I've been in this Patreon, man, but the information he says doesn't change. You can go in there and ask him. I think it goes live on Wednesdays. But from what I think I remember, I think he had about 25,000 items in his store. Maybe it was less. Maybe it was way less. Who knows? Maybe it was way less. That's why you can't ask me. You got to ask him. I would think that you would need whatever he had in his store when he made $1 million. I don't know if he made $1 million in profit. I think he did $1 million net or gross, because I know he said he wanted to do it just to say that he did it when everybody told him he couldn't. So I don't know. I would go on his live stream and I would ask him, because I've never made $1 million in profit. I've never made $1 million on eBay, so I'm not the one to ask. But I would think that you can do $1 million plus or $1 million in profit with 30,000 items. I would think so. You got to think he was doing $1 million in profit with 30,000 items. I think he was doing like 3 million with 30,000. And then he got all the way up to 50,000 and was doing like 5 million. So, Sherry says, we appreciate you answering all these questions. That's what I'm here for. Appreciate you guys asking them. Are you running your extreme markdown until everything sells? I'm just running it indefinitely. It's never going to stop. Because when something gives you results, why change it? That's what happened with me doing the 90 a day. 90 a day was working. It was just a grind. And then I changed that to go down to 20 a day, and everything fell off a cliff. So it wasn't working anymore. So now that I found a sweet spot. In my opinion, I found a sweet spot. I'm making the same amount of money that I was making doing 90 a day, listing 30 a day. So why am I going to change that? Now, if it stops performing as well, I'll have to tweak it and figure out how to keep these types of results coming in. I hit my 3-month mark as a full-timer in 3 days. 11,600 gross for the first quarter. And I'm like 70 hours per week. Not for the faint of heart. Glory to God. It's not. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Reselling is not easy. Reselling 5 a day, fairly easy. Reselling 10 a day gets a little bit more challenging, because then you got to go out and you got to get 70 items a day. And then if you live in a small town, you got to thrift all day long to find good items. But the more you increase your listing goal, the more knowledge you need, the more supplies you need, the more space you need, the more time you need. And it just gets harder and harder every time you increase something in the business. So congrats on your first 3 months as a full-timer doing 11,000. That's what's up. Thanks for answering all my annoying. None of your questions are annoying, bro. That's what I'm here for. I just appreciate you guys asking the questions, because if you don't ask questions, I have nothing to say. So we are at the end of the time, though, so I appreciate all you guys coming and hanging out with me for a little bit. Really appreciate you guys' support. That's going to do it for this one. I'll see you guys back here next Tuesday. But until